What's up, guys? It's Jaden Jones, and this year on PreMICtions, we will have tons of new action, previous action. So let's get it started. With me on my left is
Drew Matchett.
And throughout the year, there will be tons of guests from athletes to ADs, coaches, and many more people. But first off, last year there were tons of good teams in the MIC, tons of some teams that were questionable. First off, what's a good team from last year that you think will decline this year?
Ben Davis. Ben Davis lost Reese Taylor. I think Reese Taylor was really just the guy who could push that team forward, and I think losing them and their head coach, I think that's going to be a big loss for Ben Davis this year for sure.
I definitely have to agree, and also the loss of Brock Thompson probably going to have an impact. And their new coach doesn't have the greatest of records. Coming over from Noblesville with a 5-15 record, not the best thing to show for one of the best teams in the state.
Yeah, I just cannot see a extremely successful season for Ben Davis this year with all their talent lost for sure. So
let's move on. What's in your opinion, sleeper team that people should watch out for?
I'm calling Center Grove on this one. Yeah, Center Grove has been, sitting there, and a couple years ago they actually won state. And I think if this year they get their stuff together and they have that new running back, he ran for 500 yards a game, something like that. If they can get all their stuff together, get their team working, I think they could be very successful. I
definitely have to agree with that. One of the best players in the conference overall in Carson Steele, last year as a freshman ran for over 1,500 yards with 8 100-yard games. And that's as a freshman. We'll see tons of improvement in his sophomore season as there's a possibility he gets more carries and more touches on the offensive side of the ball. Next up, in your opinion, who do you think should be the favorite to win the MIC this year?
It's got to be Warren. Warren's got everything going for them between D-Bell and Ramir Elliott. They're looking like a solid team, and Jaden George is going to be healthy this year for them. And overall, I think Warren is going to be better. And the competition in the MIC, as you said, lots of talent has been lost in this last offseason. And Warren is the only one who's been able to keep that up, I think.
Yeah, I have to agree with Warren. Ranked number 1 in the state. Probably have the best all-around player in the state with David Bell, a returning Jaden George who looks to be 100%, a transfer from Cathedral who can make their offense say more dimensional all around, and Ramir Elliott, tons of senior talent on that team, and for me, they have to be the favorite.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's move on. What are some games that people should say keep their eye on in the first few weeks of the conference play?
Well, our first game of the week on the MIC Network is going to be Center Grove versus Warren. And I think that with Center Grove being a sleeper team, as we're talking about, and Warren being the favorite, I think that's definitely a matchup we should look for.
I have to agree. Center Grove starts off the year with back-to-back tough games, taking on the number 1 team in 6A, and the following week taking on the number 1 team in 5A in New Pal, who under their head coach has never lost a regular season game. So Center Grove will look to start the year with 2 big wins that could help them throughout the year.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, who do you think will be Mr. Football when it comes to this season?
I'm calling David Bell. He's too talented to not get Mr. Football this year. And the MIC, they pump out these kind of things. They pump out superstars like David Bell, and it would be a shame if he didn't get it, honestly.
David Bell should definitely be the favorite, but from Avon, running back Samson James would have to be someone to look out for. The Ohio State commit is probably the best running back in the state as he leads the number 2 Avon Orioles.
Yeah. Avon, let's talk about that for a second. You bring up Avon every year like they're going to be able to do something. Why?
Well, you look at Avon throughout the past 3 years, they have steadily improved and moved up in the state. And this year they have their highest ranking as they're the number 2 team in 6A behind Warren Central.
Okay, that's fair. Well, do we have anything else?
Let's move into the final question.
One more.
What 2 teams do you think will meet in the state championship come winter?
I'm going to put out one team, and it's Warren Central. I don't know who the other one's going to be, but they're going to lose most likely, so it doesn't really matter.
I think Warren Central definitely the best team in the state all around. We've seen times before where they'll have a great season all around, but come playoffs, it's a little bit more of a struggle as they'll face teams they didn't see all season.
Very true.
But I think they'll definitely be the favorite this season. Well, that's all we have here. Join us next week for some more PreMICtions, and remember that champions play here.